Project Gemini, 1965 to 1966.
The main mission of Project Gemini was to gather knowledge and experience required for the mission to the moon and back. NASA had 4 main objectives that Gemini would have to work towards in order to make Apollo missions possible.
In 1965 to 1966, astronauts like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, Gus Grissom, Jim Lovell, Gordon Cooper, and Eugene Cernan all participated in Project Gemini. NASA workers improved Titan II and used it as a launcher during Gemini's missions. The Gemini Titan missions were launched on Pad 19 at Cape Canaveral.
4 main objectives to complete Project Gemini and to move on to Apollo were: Objective 1, prove the endurance of man in the spacecraft to stay in space for extended periods of time. The trip to the moon would require 3 days of travel each way, plus additional time on the lunar surface. Gemini's goal was for endurance was at least 8 days, but NASA hoped for a maximum of 2 weeks.
Objective 2, gain experience and technology required for docking between 2 spacecrafts in orbit. This will be vital because astronauts would be required to dock in lunar orbit after departing the lunar surface.
The third objective was to demonstrate that man can survive and operate outside of the confinements of the spacecraft. It would clearly be important for lunar missions that humans can survive and perform required tasks outside the spacecraft on a lunar surface.
Objective 4, perfect technique for safe atmosphere re-entry and landing on Earth. President Kennedy promised that the Apollo astronauts would return to Earth alive. Project Gemini further advanced the Mercury missions before allowing Apollo missions the safest return possible.
Project Gemini had 12 missions total, and on November 11, 1966, the last mission of Project Gemini was completed.